Hey everybody, how's it going? The other day I made a video about fragrances I wouldn't suggest wearing to dinner, and a lot of you have asked me to make a video about fragrances I would suggest to wear to dinner. So all of these are a total thumbs up in my book. From experience and from what I've smelled on other people, they've just been absolutely fantastic. So on this list, we've got unisex, feminine, and masculine, and I'm gonna point out which is which. We're gonna start on the feminine side with a gorgeous fragrance by Louis Vuitton, Heures d'Absence, and this is an absolute win. It smells like the most luxurious bath, and then kind of throw in some fresh rose petals, some fresh jasmine petals, and you get this fragrance. Now, I remember that my sister wore this out when her and I went to dinner. We kind of had like a double date dinner sort of things with her and her partner and me and my partner, and she wore this scent. And what was great about it is even though Heures d'Absence has some good projection, when the food was rolling around, it kind of knew to not stand in the spotlight. You know what I mean? It wasn't competing with the smell and the aroma of the food, of trying to be top dog or anything like that. You know what I mean? So I didn't really smell this as much as the dinner was going on. But afterwards, when she was walking by, you could still smell this and it just smelled amazing. So it just didn't compete for attention, but still smelled absolutely divine. So Heures d'Absence by Louis Vuitton. I am also going to mention a fragrance I don't currently have in my collection because my girlfriend wears it, and it's Blouse by YSL, and that thing makes me weak in the knees. It still has me in a chokehold till this day. Definitely one of my favorite fragrances on her, but it's a fresh floral type of scent. To me, if you love Delina by Parfums de Marly, but you want kind of a more floral version of it, then that's pretty much Blouse. Now, it's just an absolutely gorgeous scent. And what you'll notice with the fragrances I'm gonna share in this video is that they don't compete for attention. Kind of like what I said with Heures d'Absence, that's gonna be a very recurring theme here. So whenever she's worn Blouse and we've been eating together, like it is never a problem. But once like the meals are done and you know, you're talking to each other and all that sort of stuff, you start to smell it again and you're like, oh damn, that shit's sexy. You know what I'm saying? So never made me nauseated, but it just smelled so, so good. The next fragrance, another feminine one. We're gonna get all the feminine ones out of the way first. Rose Blanche by Precious Liquid. All right, this scent right here is the most affordable out of the three that I've currently mentioned, but Rose Blanche is fresh rose fragrance. That's pretty much all there is to it. The rose doesn't smell like grandma, doesn't smell mature or dated. And I have to say that in every video, whenever I talk about rose fragrances in general, just because that is always a worry for a lot of people. So I want to clear that worry for you, okay? This will not smell like like basically exactly what I said, all right? You're not going to get those type of vibes. It's a very versatile type of fragrance. I do find it to just be a scent, the type of fragrance that will work on anybody. If you give this to a 20-year-old, she's gonna smell amazing. You give it to a 30-year-old, a 40-year-old, a 50-year-old, it's just gonna smell amazing on whoever wears it. And I remember she also wore this to dinner, like we were just eating, and I was like, God, it just smelled so, so good. Like if you've ever, you know, when you go out to some formal dining and stuff like that, and they have just like a flower centerpiece in the middle of the table that you can sort of smell the flowers, but it never pisses you off or distracts you from the meal, right? It's kind of like that, where I'll kind of catch whiffs of it here and there, but overall, lovely, lovely, sexy fragrance. All right, now the next one is actually a unisex fragrance, and she took it. I had a sample of it, but I gave it to Gabrielle because she smells amazing with it. It's also called, this one is called Mandarin. That's also from Precious Liquid, but that scent, anybody can wear it. And it smells just like the name implies, Mandarin, all right? So to her, she was like, this kind of smells like the pink doctor soap in the doctor's offices. And I sort of got what she was talking about, but honestly for me, I was definitely getting that orangey sort of scent. And it smelled really good. When I smelled that on her, I was like, damn, I want to wear that for myself, you know? So when we went on vacation, that was the fragrance she was wearing every single night after she showered. And I'm sure if you guys have ever been on that tropical type of vacation when you've been out all day at the beach, then you take that nice shower and then you're getting dressed up for dinner. It just hits a bit different, you know what I mean? So she would always throw on that fragrance and she smelled so, so good. So Mandarin is great. I'm gonna put all the names of the fragrances, discount site links in the description in case you wanna save yourself some money and support the channel. But of course, please buy where you're comfortable, all right? Okay, and the last one is the last feminine fragrance to round this off, which is, I think it's called Rose Water and Gin. All right, another one of Gabrielle's fragrances, and by far it's going to be the cheapest one on this list. It's from Tokyo Milk. It goes for about, I think she got it for $30, right? But this scent, another just nice, fresh and clean fragrance that you throw on right out of the shower. Now, is it super sexy? No, it's just mainly fresh, but sometimes that's all you need. You know what I mean? All you kind of want is just a fresh scent that's not gonna piss anybody off, that's gonna make you feel good. That's just an easygoing type of fragrance, you know what I mean? And that's exactly what Rose Water and Gin does. And honestly, out of all the fragrances she has, that's probably a top 5 scent for me that she wears. That I'm like, oh man, I just love that fragrance for some reason. All right, now we're gonna go into unisex territory. Molecule 01 by Eccentric Molecules. I wore this when I went out to eat some pho. And it's like, it did stand down. You know what I mean? This was not pushing. And like I've said in so many videos of this fragrance, it's a smart scent. You know what I mean? It adapts to whatever sort of environment you're in. If you're indoors, just chilling, not doing a lot of movement, it's gonna stay very close to the skin. You might go nose blind to it. But the second you go outside and you're being active, this thing starts to push. And that's exactly what happened. Once I left the restaurant and I was outdoors and like we were talking, just kind of walking around, I smelled this and I was like, oh gosh, I just love, love, love this scent. So Molecule 01 is an ISO E Super fragrance. It smells different on everybody because it depends on your skin chemistry with how this is going to work. So some people can't smell it. Some people smell it and they smell great. Some people smell it and they smell bad. So it is a gamble type of fragrance, but I really, really do love it. All right, the next scent is Ombre Nui by Dior. Now, this is probably the sweetest fragrance on this list. Again, another straight up unisex type of scent. It's a rose amber fragrance, but the reason this is on the list is because it's not like, it's a very intimate sort of scent. This is not a fragrance that's gonna reach across the table. Even the person next to you might not be able to smell it as much, especially if you go kind of light on the sprays, which is what I would suggest if you're at dinner, because if you go overboard on the sprays of this, it might nauseate you and it could potentially try to compete with the aroma of the food, and you just don't want to do that. But again, after dinner, like when you have this on and, you know, let's say you're eating dessert and your date is getting closer and closer to you and then they smell this in your scent bubble, it's very, very sexy. I still love this scent till this day. Hold on, let me smell it again. Damn. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely be wearing this more when the fall rolls around. But I just love how kind of intimate this fragrance is. And that's where it shines the best, is when, because it's not one that tries to get attention, but it will get attention once somebody catches a sniff of it. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, what is that? That smells nice. And the closer they get to you, the more intoxicating this fragrance becomes. But I just love how it doesn't try hard because it knows it's the juice. You know what I'm saying? Ombre Nui by Dior. All right, we're gonna go with a unisex fragrance disguised as a masculine scent, L'Homme by YSL. And this is a fragrance that I remember when I wore this around my mom for the first time, she thought it was an Estee Lauder perfume. So this scent is just, it can easily be worn by anybody. I know a lot of women and guys that wear this as their signature scent. And it's a fresh ginger fragrance. Very lovely, very light. That's the reason it's on this list, is because yes, it has versatility, but it's gonna stay a bit closer to your skin. And then when that date's over and they kind of smell it on you closer, kind of like the effect of Ombre Nui, it will just continuously draw you in. Now, this fragrance to me isn't that sexy, but it's kind of like, I do find it a bit more like sophisticated, classy, with a touch of seduction. You know what I mean? It's not a crazy, sexy sort of scent, but when you do smell it, you're like, oh man, that's nice. That's a really nice fragrance. So L'Homme by YSL is something you just cannot go wrong with. It's a great fragrance to have in your collection because even if you're not at dinner, if you're at work, if you're doing groceries, like if you're just doing whatever, it's going to smell fantastic. And to just round off this list, we're gonna go with a masculine fragrance here, La Nuit de l'Homme by YSL. I had to put both this and L'Homme just because if you're somebody that's like, but I want that sexy masculine fragrance, like what would be a great suggestion for that? Hands down, La Nuit. All right, this is a cardamom fragrance and there is a touch of sweetness in this scent, but for the most part, if you look this up online, you're gonna hear people dog on its performance. And yeah, it's not the best with how like strength and longevity at all, but this thing is still something that just gets people absolutely feral. And the amazing thing about it, similar to Ombre Nui, is that it will not, with all these fragrances, again, it doesn't compete with the smell of the food or anything like that. It will stand down during dinner time, but after the food gets taken away and your date smells this on you, it's just something that keeps them coming back. It's a very alluring type of scent that, like, it's a nose to the neck type of fragrance. Absolutely gorgeous scent. Still my favorite standard designer fragrance in my collection. This is the oldest fragrance in my entire collection, the one that kind of started me in this fragrance journey, so I love it a lot, all right? Anyways, again, the names of the fragrances and discount site links will be in the description. Thank you so much for showing love. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.